All right. Thank you all very much for being here today. We really appreciate it. We think we've got a neat program for you, and you're going to get to see a lot of aspects of MBA today. To start things off, I want to introduce a 7th grader, Hillary Odede, and he's going to tell you a little bit about his journey to MBA.
Good afternoon. My name is Hillary Odede, and I am a 7th grader here at MBA, and it is my pleasure to welcome all of you here today. I would like to thank Mr. Farrell from Admissions for giving me the opportunity to speak to all of you here today and for accepting me to the class of 2023 at MBA. I am from Kenya, and leaving my home to come here was not easy. It is not only because of the long journey, but because of how far away I would be from my friends, family, and everything else that I knew. Education is something I value because coming from a poor family, I didn't always get the chance to get to school. When I was very young and living in a rural village, I used to sit by my front gate at my home and just watch kids go to school feeling jealous. I managed to get into school when I later moved to Nairobi, but I still longed for more. To get into MBA was a true honor. When I got in, I was so excited I actually did a dance. Some of you may be wondering why I'd be willing to leave everything I knew to come here. The answer is, I wanted a school that would challenge me and give me more opportunities. My parents started a non-profit organization in Nairobi's biggest slum, Kibra, which helps girls get an education as well as helping the community with general needs like water and medication. Growing up, I saw how a good education transformed these girls' lives. I hoped for an opportunity like that too. Then, last Christmas, I met the Inhefer family and their son Otis, who is an 8th grader at MBA. My parents are friends with their family, and we decided MBA could be a great school for me. I was very excited to be accepted, and now the Inhefers are my American family. MBA has definitely provided me with the challenge I was looking for, but also the opportunity to feel a big sense of accomplishment when I do well. In the beginning, the homework almost killed me, but I persisted and I'm enjoying my classes. Believe it or not, my best grade is American history. Aside from academics, one of the best things about MBA is how many activities there are to choose from, such as soccer, theater, lacrosse, and tennis, just to name a few. Currently, I am doing debate. I thought it would be easy since all you have to do is argue with people, which I've been told I'm very good at. But it is so much more than that. You have to know your subject inside and out and be very confident. Just from debate alone, I've already toured a lot of the South. The staff, teachers, coaches, and other students at MBA are all very welcoming. Another good thing about MBA is that there are people from different places. One of the teachers is from South Africa, another staff member is from Ethiopia. There's even an exchange student from South Africa. My parents always tell me to ask myself, what have I learned from this experience? The answer, when it comes to MBA, is a lot. From learning to approach science in a new way, to getting to meet new people, I have learned things that I doubt I've been exposed to in Kenya. The last thing I would like to say is that MBA would be a new and amazing experience for all. And every day as we come to school, we all realize even though we come from different backgrounds, we are all still friends at one school who see each other as brothers. Thank you, and I hope you have a good day.
Good afternoon and welcome. I'm Jack Capizzi, a senior at Montgomery Bell Academy. As I look out at today's crowd, I realize that I have a lot in common with many of you. And with some of you, our interests are very different. When my parents first asked me if I would like to look at MBA, I have to admit, I was nervous and afraid. I didn't share the same level of enthusiasm that many of my current classmates had when they applied. I was afraid of leaving a school that all my friends went to, a school where kids rarely left, but instead began in kindergarten and graduated their senior year. Whether this is your first time on MBA's campus or your family has attended MBA from generation to generation, I hope to give you a few glimpses of what makes this place so caring, distinctive, and compelling. I remember sitting on my bed at home, thinking of a plan to halt my parents' encouragement of MBA, a plan that would allow me to hide from my fear of change. I would shadow a 7th grader for the day and then let my parents down easy, saying that I had given the school a chance, but it really wasn't for me. It's fair to say that my plan failed miserably. On the drive to tour MBA, my preconceived notions of the school led me to think that it was a place made up of khaki pants and polo shirts, where the students were identified by whatever sport they were involved in, as opposed to their personality. I now realize how naive a 6th grade boy can be. What stood out to me on that day in November of 2011 was a sense of community like no other one I've experienced. Behind every polo shirt or pair of khakis was a boy not unlike myself, complete with unique interests, passions, talents, and insecurities. I can think of no safer, supportive, or encouraging place in which a boy has the opportunity to explore his interests, face his fears, and expand his knowledge than here at MBA. The student body is made up of a variety of talents, interests, personalities, and perspectives. The lines are blurred between academics, sports, arts, and forensics, allowing any student to pursue seemingly diverse interests with ease. In my brief time at MBA, I have served on the student council alongside members of the lacrosse team, seen artists join debate, heard football players recite their own poetry for the Creative Writing Club, and watched from the wings of this very theater as runners on the cross-country team performed lead roles in student-directed plays. With the support of faculty members and their fellow classmates, students can pursue different academic and extracurricular interests with ease. In 9th grade, I joined the debate team. My debate partner and I enjoyed success, and for a time, I thought that I had found my place here on the Hill. As the year progressed, however, I realized that my interests spread beyond the debate podium. I didn't want to quit the activity, however, I knew that my interests incorporated a creativity and expression that was left unsatisfied by debate. Confused on what to do, I sent my Latin teacher a brief email explaining my dilemma, and within an hour, I was sitting in his office outlining my plan for sophomore year. Instead of continuing with debate, I would join the mock trial team and try out for each of the year's 4 plays. With this one teacher's empathy of my position and determination to help me, I never would have discovered the activities that have since defined my contribution to MBA. The first day of mock trial practice, my sophomore year, I finally realized what MBA is all about. I saw that I was on a team of debaters, runners, newspaper editors, artists, and actors. We were all coming together for a similar passion that transcended our seemingly inconsistent backgrounds. It was at that moment that I first glimpsed the web of activities and involvements that strings each student to one another, forming the bond of brotherhood. It is with the support of such a web that I can be myself at MBA, and my friends can too. Now, I'd like to leave you all with an image. It's not uncommon for me to attend a football game with some of my best friends. I've already mentioned my role in mock trial and theater. However, when I am at these games, I am cheering for our team beside friends that are members of the Honor Council, baseball players, and musicians. On the football field, the starting center writes beside me as a lead editor for our newspaper. The quarterback is our student body president. My classmates on the field display a commitment to their team that mirrors their willingness to help one another on a math problem or when studying for an exam. And this brings me to my final point. No 2 students at MBA are the same. Through our different interests, passions, and personalities, we're able to create an impenetrable bond that links each of us together. I urge you all to recognize that you too are like no other student that has walked up the steps of MBA for his first day of school. If you are willing to accept the challenge that MBA provides, you will become a part of MBA's community. If you are willing to accept this challenge, the school will return you with the opportunities, relationships, and experiences necessary to stimulate your mind and further your development in becoming both a gentleman and a scholar. Thank you.
Good afternoon. As Greg Farrell said a little while ago, we enjoy doing these programs. They're very similar to our assemblies, obviously a little more rehearsed, but actually not entirely different. We frequently have music, we'll have a film, we'll have boys talk, and so for me this is a great joy just to see it come together and to have you here on the campus today. I'm Brad Joya, this is my 24th year, teach English, and I'm the headmaster here. Welcome to our campus on this beautiful fall but brisk afternoon. As headmaster and English teacher at MBA, I'm proud to work with these students, with our faculty and staff, with our parents and alumni. It is a remarkable community, built over the past 151 years, but thriving and seeking talented new people to build this community for many more years. There are 4 areas I typically address when I'm introducing the school and community. It's people, 770 boys, 140 staff. Our campus, almost 50 acres here at Harding Road, 10 acres in Sylvan Park, and over 200 acres on a mountaintop near McMinnville, Tennessee. The opportunities, exchanges around the world, literally hundreds of grants each year for boys to study throughout the nation and abroad, and high expectations. And for me, what's most important, it's culture. A boys' school, a place that I'd never stepped on a campus like this in my entire career until 24 years ago, but I've come to see its own beauty and merits and the ways in which you get to see a boy perform, either on the stage as they are today, in the classroom, and in a way allow a glimpse into that internal world that society tends not to permit a boy to speak to too often. A sense of supportiveness that Jack addressed, the freedom and the affirmation to excel in any area, a focus on excellence, whether it's theater, music, robotics, chess, lacrosse, football, managing, service. And actually, I don't think a boys' school is better than any other school, or a girls' school, or a co-ed school, or a public or a private school. I think it's the culture at a school that dictates what makes it a great school, and I hope you get a glimpse of that today. Just very quickly, would those students here on stage, would you stand if you are involved in baseball? Hockey, wrestling, crew, golf, swimming, basketball, lacrosse, theater, cross country, football, debate, track. Just a way visually for you to see in which Jack's speech is real. Thank you. Please be seated. Today I wanted to do something slightly different, an idea that came to me in 1996 when we were renovating the library. I realized that boys are visual learners. And I started to put up a number of visuals in the library, the winners of the Nobel Prizes, for example, a number of important figures historically, and then having the campus literally peppered with quotations. And these 9 quotations I'll show you now are a small way for me to introduce the school. The first one, by Ben Franklin. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. This quotation is in the junior school, and very intentionally. It's a way of saying that at the 7th and 8th grade levels, we believe in the practical importance of foundations, of responsibilities, of building a real core in who you are. The second quotation, success doesn't just happen. You have to be intentional about it, and that takes discipline. The operative word for me in this quotation about the school is intention. I think you'll find MBA to be incredibly intentional about who it is and what it believes and how it goes about its business. Most of us teach because we know that intentionally we will be much more attuned in this community if we do teach and we know the students. We try to understand who the boys are, and we try to make decisions here based on the boys. And our mission is extremely focused. Gentleman, scholar, athlete, it's in a certain order. You might think that scholarship or athletics are paramount, but we know that we must find ways to put that sense of being a gentleman, meaning respecting others, respecting yourself, showing some empathy and compassion, being someone that has that kind of character that will make a difference. The third quotation, the man who does not read good books has no advantage over the man who can't read them. Mark Twain, in the Student Center, a way of suggesting that, we want to have a bit of a sense of humor about ourselves. We want to suggest that reading great books is really important. It will make a difference in your life. You will have a repertoire and reservoir of knowledge that will serve you your entire life. So there is an emphasis on the classics. It's no accident that my former students will send me t-shirts, as I noticed this morning before I worked out. I pulled it out. It reads he works for Quizlet. I'm sure some of you know Quizlet in San Francisco. And the quotation reads, "Good grammar is sexy." Fourth quotation, "You better cut the pizza in 4 pieces because I'm not hungry enough to eat 6. Well, Yogi Berra was a master of great wit, and we have 3 Yogi Berra quotations on the campus. This one obviously is in the dining hall and in the serving area. And food is really important to boys, and we know that. And we try to have a great food at MBA. Ask about that while you're here. The 5th one, some people drink from the fountain of knowledge, others just gargle. The class of 2001 wanted to put a water fountain on the campus, and they asked me if they could put this quotation there. It's been sort of a sign of affirmation that not only do the students think the quotations can be a good idea, but the art department, when we renovated the art area, suggested that they put up a number of quotations in there. So you'll see lots of these. These are just 9 of probably almost 200 on the campus. The 6th one, character may almost be called the most effective means of persuasion, Aristotle. Again, the priorities of what I said in terms of our mission. The 7th quotation, keep your eyes on the stars and your feet on the ground. Teddy Roosevelt said this in 1902 at Groton School. I love the sense of aspirations that are within this quotation, and I think it says a lot about MBA. 8, seize the day, boys. Make your lives extraordinary. Actually said by Mr. Keating in the movie Dead Poets Society, but written by our 1968 graduate Tom Schulman. Obviously, I like the association this movie has with MBA as an English teacher, but I also like the focus it has on teaching and the relationship between teaching and students. And the 9th quotation, my favorite, strive mightily, but eat and drink as friends. From Shakespeare's The Taming of the Shrew. I like that quotation because I think it says a lot about high expectations, about camaraderie, about excellence, about the enjoyment that you see in a school like this one. If you were here, I think, on a regular basis, you'd see the care, the hard work, and the love. It's not unusual for boys to talk about loving their friends or for teachers to say the same, all embedded in that camaraderie that I spoke about. It's not one's name or zip code or previous school, but one's work ethic, goodness, kindness, achievement, and humanity that define him at MBA. We have boys here from almost 50 different schools each year, and we work hard to acculturate them into one community that cares for each other and celebrates the attributes I have mentioned. MBA is not an experience for 4 or 6 years. It is a school that should last for 60 or 80 years, or in Mr. Jim Bass's case, our oldest graduate, who's 107, 90 years. Relax, enjoy this afternoon, probe, most of all, we want you to find out who we are, and we want to do it genuinely. We're all grateful to have you here today.